Alright, ready, boys?
Yeah.
Let's get it.
3, 2, 1, let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 38th installment of the Insomniacs Anime Podcast. As always, we've got our usual hosts, me, Diego, Ari, Glitch Girl. Good to see you. Welcome.
Welcome.
And
Welcome.
we got not a full schedule, a good schedule for today, so stay tuned. We'll get to the weeklies later, but first we're going to get into Made in Abyss.
Ooh. So you
I
just
finished this two
just
days ago.
finished the show, and you just finished Promised Neverland, so we're going to get into
And
those.
how long have we been talking about Made in Abyss?
A
A
while.
long time.
You've been
Yeah.
telling me to watch it for a bit now.
Mm-hmm. Worth it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
100% worth the watch?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It looks like a kid's show at first if you look at the thumbnail. Maybe you get into the first couple episodes, yeah, this seems alright, but you will not expect what happens at the end.
Yeah.
Emotionally,
Like
you're
just
not
the
gonna be
last,
ready.
the climax is probably episode 10 for me,
Mhm.
and then it just continued on until episode 13.
Yeah. So, get into heavy spoilers clearly for these two shows if you haven't watched and you're interested in watching them.
Yeah.
Mute now, come back later. But Made in Abyss, what were your first initial thoughts?
So I was already really intrigued with just kind of the world around it, because from before I even watched Made in Abyss, I thought it was just that one island with the thing, and there was just that was it. I didn't know there was an outside world also around it, so I thought that was kind of cool how people there wasn't originally a town by that abyss. They just built a city around it because people kept wanting to adventure into the abyss and all that. And then I was also intrigued finding out the curse of the abyss and all that, learning about all that and how the deeper you go, if you go back up, it can affect you immediately. Especially you see that very badly in episode 10 also with Rico, right? Or what's her name? Riku.
That was Riku.
But that was also really intriguing to me. It is really good world building.
The world building is sick.
It's amazing.
For the episode count, it was very well done.
Yeah,
especially for how it detailed the effects were for each layer of the abyss that they knew.
Yeah, and I also kind of liked how things in the distance, it kind of looked more kind of like a painting instead of actual animation for a split second or so. I thought that was really cool. So animation was really well done, I think, for me also. The characters are all really likable. It's cool to see how they still have kind of the innocence of a child in a sense, but also that drive of an adult just moving on with different stuff and seeing that curiosity.
And it's cool that it's kind of like Hunter x Hunter in a way too, where they're you can still tell they're kids, but they are trying to do with adult matters too, which is really cool to see with especially the last 3 episodes.
Yeah. If this is already what we're getting so far as just with how adult the situations are that these really, really young kids are getting into, and they're not that far into the abyss. And now they're
they're level 4, I think, at the end of the series.
And then the one where they think Reg is from, I think it's 8, right?
7 or 8, something.
7 or 8, but even then, that porcupine monster thing.
Oh my god, Jesus!
How?
That thing scared me.
Yeah.
I was like, what the?
Yeah, how? These Reg is gonna need some serious buffs, especially if it's just gonna be them two plus I don't remember what was the bunny girl's name.
Oh my god, I just said it in my head.
Yeah,
Gives it an N.
Nanachi?
Yeah, her. Because right now she's kind of just
Nanachi's dope though.
she is dope. Sad as hell, but dope.
Yeah. Oh my god, that backstory. Don't even get me started.
But actually, I kind of want to bring out. So, what is you mentioned on a PlayStation? What you thought of her backstory? So, let's get into that.
So heavy spoilers again for Made in Abyss.
Please watch it. Don't get the spoilers. You have to watch it. If you haven't, then go do it now.
So Nachi's backstory we get in the second to last episode or last episode, and so when you so there's that one white whistle who basically takes all these kids from wherever they're at,
like orphans.
Yeah. Bring them down all the way to the abyss, and like I already knew like something was up. I was like, okay, this is not going to end well. Obviously, I did not expect it to take the turn that it did.
Yeah. So knowing that this white whistle is taking these orphans and testing on them to the
experimenting on
them to quickly bring them down to a certain part of the abyss and then bring them up very fast. How do the effects of the abyss affect these kids?
Yeah.
So, and the way they did it too was that it was two people, two kids, and two separate pods, and they go down at the same time and then come back up.
Yeah.
At the same time.
And they would basically like flood the curse of the abyss into one of the chambers. See
right.
it, and then that was so messed up.
Yes. Because for those, if you don't care for spoilers and you want to know what happens, these two girls are friends. Like they've been waiting in like this waiting room to get tested on, and they don't know what's on the other side. So they go into these chambers. They go down at the same time, and they were friends waiting to get tested on. And one of the girls who gets all the curse flooded to,
Meaty.
Yeah, Meaty. She immediately turns into like this blob thing, and you see the whole transformation from person to like this blob on the floor.
Yeah, like an amoeba basically. Yeah,
and the whole time she's screaming like, "Kill me!"
Yeah, like crying and screaming, and it's really rough because Nanachi's just watching this unfold as she gets turned into like a bunny type creature, or whatever you want to call that.
And I guess without sacrifices like these, I mean, they would still know the effects of the abyss, but
not to the full extent.
Not to the full extent.
Yeah.
So then, instead of testing on kids, does it make it justified to do it on like criminals or anything else, knowing that you don't know what's going to happen to that person the second they start testing on them. They don't know what's happening to these kids. Does it make it better or worse changing the type of person that they're testing?
I don't think it does at all, just because that is like beyond like human cruelty at some point.
Especially because of what happened to Mitty. Just like how much pain she was in. Not to mention she's like immortal afterwards too.
Yeah.
So like you test on criminals, but they might not die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we forgot to mention that Meaty, when she turned into a blob, they were trying to kill her, and she can't communicate. She can't die either.
Yeah,
because
she's literally immortal.
It's like to the point where, like, they stab her or something. Instead of bleeding out, she just immediately heals. Her body heals itself, but she still feels all the pain.
Yeah. Yeah. And she would like regrow like limbs and stuff too.
Yeah.
Really messed up.
Mm-hmm. And especially because obviously you saw her as a kid who was like happy-go-lucky and everything.
Yeah,
like waiting.
She wanted to be a white whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's also another thing that I found interesting is the certain ranks of
the explorers,
like the cave raiders.
Yeah,
you have like when they're kids, it's like a bell, and then they get the red whistle, and then the blue whistle when you turn 15 or something like that, and then you can either be, what was the purple whistle called? Especially in 4, basically they're like teachers who like train the next generation of cave raiders, I guess. And then you have the black whistles, who are like elite, and then you have the white whistles, who are just like complete masters in their field and stuff like that, and are given like special names and stuff.
Right.
Which was really also cool to me, because I love seeing like kind of like not a hierarchy, but certain different ranks of a certain.
Like it strengthens the role building.
Yeah,
and even the distance between like a black whistle and a white whistle.
Yeah,
it's like. It's only one level, but it's crazy how much.
Yeah, because like you see early on what a black whistle can do. With I forget all the names of these people, but the fat guy who was a black whistle, was like her uncle almost basically. And then you see the one white whistle, the immovable chick who was friends with main character's mom, like what she can do and how she has like stuff embedded in her skin to basically make her super strong,
right?
Which I thought that was super cool. She was a really neat character too.
That whole like little mini arc was kind of I was like nervous the whole time.
That was a cool arc.
Yeah, and One thing too that I'm really interested to see when the movie comes out and whenever the next season comes also is like the extent of power that we're gonna see from Reg.
Yeah.
Because we saw the very last episode that he's actually able to kill Meaty because he can just shoot this giant, like, just beam of energy that just disintegrates anything.
They called it something that's like a light thing. That I don't know what it was, but it was
We got Cassidy in chat. That anime goes from lolly fun to full on child torture quick.
Yeah.
Lolly fun.
It doesn't ease into it.
I don't know. I think that's what's kind of cool is because like I was so skeptical at first. I was like, I don't know. This is giving me weird vibes, especially the first couple episodes. But then it just like backhands you real fast.
Yeah.
Well, this is not a kid show.
No.
Yeah.
At all.
No kids should be watching this show.
Yeah. Episode 10 especially. That was rough seeing Rico like bleeding out of almost every orifice in her body, and like she's like break my hand and chop my hand off, and I'm like, what the hell is happening?
And here? Especially to the point where Narancia at this point is like, as such a young kid, you tell yourself, I'm gonna stop at nothing to find a way to kill you, so you don't have to suffer anymore. Like the second that you're like when you're in that moment with her, and you can't really, you obviously can't feel what she's feeling, but you like sympathize with her.
Yeah.
Especially that she's like not even like maybe 10.
Yeah, they're young. They're
really young, and she gets to this point, and I'm just like, dog, like this is not a joke.
No, it's not okay. And I just looked it up. So the movie came out in Japan on the 17th of January.
Yeah.
But the U.S. release is still to be determined. But I think it's probably going to be soon.
Hopefully. I would love to see what they do in that movie.
Yeah, me too.
Also, Rico's mom, Liza, she's cool as shit.
Yeah.
And like that weapon that she has, that like exploding like pickaxe or whatever, that is also super dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything about it, this show is really good. The world building and everything. Like, I heard what everyone was saying is we're not ready for the next season. Like, it's gonna be bad. Or like the next arc. So like the movie, like we're not ready, essentially.
Oh, brother.
Well,
yeah.
Can't wait to cry in theater.
I feel like this next season is gonna target specifically around that scientist. Like I feel like
it has to. Well, even the picture, the like poster is him.
The poster's him.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Okay.
Because I like at the end of the last episode, it was basically just him saying that he was going to go after Nanachi again because he found out that Meaty was killed by somehow. Probably had some kind of transmitter on her or something like that. So yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I forgot about that. About how he was looking at the board and saw like her light go out.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is gonna be a rough meeting.
That is. Gonna need Ozen to come in and fucking clap some cheeks.
I don't.
So the summary, or like the not synopsis, but just like the summary is: Dawn of the Deep Soul continues the epic adventure of plucky Rico and Reg, who are joined by their new friend Nanachi. Together they descend into the abyss's treacherous fifth layer, the Sea of Corpses, and encounter the mysterious Bone Druid, a legendary white whistle whose shadow looms over Nanachi's troubled past. Bone Druid is... I don't know that word. What the... I don't know English, bro. Do we speak English?
Ingratiatingly.
Hospitable, but the brave adventurers know things are not always as they seem in an enigmatic abyss.
Look at this word.
So it definitely revolves around that, which is scary, especially because he knows Nanachi.
Yeah.
Okay, so the original word is ingratiate. Bring oneself into favor with someone by flattering or trying to please them. That's big brain word.
Yeah. That's interesting. Do you think he's just gonna try and take Nanachi away? And then it's just gonna be Reg
or probably all of them.
He's definitely gonna want to test on Reg.
Oh yeah, because Reg is such a big just plot point in general in the show because he's literally one of the main focuses of the story.
Yeah.
Because he's starting to get flashbacks, right?
Yeah, he's starting to get some of his memories back.
I mean, half the story is finding out where he came from, and then the other half is trying to find the mom.
Yeah, Liza.
So,
do you think that it's gonna come down to plot armor getting them to her mom? Because it just doesn't logically make sense for these young of kids to go through how treacherous the abyss is. And all the way down to the level where her mom's at, where white whistles and black black whistles really are supposed to
I don't
go that
think
far.
So,
but
just
doesn't
because
it say, isn't it like the 6th and 7th layers are for only white whistles?
I don't think there will be that much, if any, plot armor, just because I think the show did a really good job of not inducing plot armor like elements at all.
I agree.
There was no moment where I felt in the show I was like, oh, that's BS.
Especially even for example, when they're going down and they're in that big shaft and there's all those, what was it, dragon things or something?
Yeah.
And the big worm too, and Greg fell asleep. The whole time I didn't feel like them getting away from the monsters was plot armor at all.
Because they're both really smart.
And even the Nanachi, when Nanachi is first introduced, I didn't really. I mean, I guess it could maybe be plot armor, but that's introducing her character more so than them just so happening to get saved and then she disappears. Yeah, I feel like there was no plot armor.
Yeah, I just
right rare now, to see in a show,
which is really
right. Especially for the premise and the characters.
Yeah, because I mean, they're pulling punches. They don't really care to do some damage to the characters. They have to. Yeah.
And I don't know, do you think it's going to come down to just one of them making it out of the abyss?
Because the only one who could, I think, make it out is Reg.
Right. But
I don't think he would leave in the first place.
But Riku's the main character. Do you think that they would kill off one of those two? So that one of them can maybe get out of the abyss or something?
I could see maybe Reg getting killed off.
Or just Reg sacrificing himself or something. Or I could also see Riku not being able to get back up and she tells Reg to go.
Rico, sorry, I messed up on that.
I totally could see that.
Yeah. But this show is dark enough to the point where they definitely would not be afraid to kill off a main character, I think, at this point.
It definitely would.
I also did not expect Nanachi to leave with him. I totally expect her to just go recluse.
Yeah,
I agree.
I would have thought that, she's just in such a dark place. She just needs to, wallow away in some hole somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah. But also, this show does have some funny moments between Rico and Reg, which kind of surprised me considering the whole situation.
Yeah.
Because they're still kids and they still treat them like kids, which, is a good thing. Because if you have kids big braining stuff all the time, it just kind of takes away from the show, I guess.
For sure.
So then do you think that this is going to call for a time skip?
Nah.
I don't think so. I think the movie will probably pick up shortly after where it left off.
Pick up right where it left off.
Oh, not in the movie, but just in the future.
No. I don't feel like they could. Only time they could, I really feel like they could maybe time skip is if they get out of the abyss eventually. I don't feel like they could really.
It'd be cool to see a time skip.
Because they're kind of cruising down. It'd be weird if they time skip they spent unless they spent some time with Nanachi, a month or something, then I could maybe see time skip. But I think with the next movie they're just going straight to the next level. Because isn't that how it ends? They're leaving. Yeah, they're leaving, and by the end of the show. I feel I don't feel like there's any place that would really warrant one. They don't need to. Because
the only thing for me is if they wanted to be okay, they're still kids and it doesn't make sense for them to go to this level of the abyss, let's have them get stuck or something, and then they're there for I don't know 2 years or something, and then they're and then they finally move on to the next level. How would you guys feel if they did that?
I don't know.
I just don't know how sustainable living in that layer of the abyss would be. So I don't know if it'd be believable for what the show's established.
I think if the fourth layer, it seems it's pretty sustainable since Nanachi was fine there. Because there's the fish there that they can eat whenever. Riko's a good cook; she knows what to do. So.
But the next level is called the Sea of Corpses.
Sea of Corpses. So we'll also have to see how that goes.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough for sure. I like how we're starting to see like this wave of more realistic. I briefly brought it up last week about when we were talking about Dorohedoro, that they're starting to bring up like a wave of more like realisticness and gore and violence in anime, because this would not have done as well, I feel like, if it came out in like when Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece was like prime big three of like, I don't know, what was it, like 2003 to like
2002 to like 2012, I guess. Maybe they called that.
Because this shows a lot. Yeah. Like if you can't handle the gore, like you cannot watch this show.
Yeah.
No chance. Especially, even it was hard for me watching the when Reg had to like cut her arm off.
Yeah,
I was struggling a little bit.
That was rough.
Yeah,
that was really rough.
Because that was, oh my god. I don't know what was harder. I feel like it has to be
the definitely Meaty? Yeah, the hardest scene was definitely Meaty's death. I think that hit really hard.
Yeah. But it's just so rough because you're able to stay connected with these characters so much.
Yeah.
Like immediately, like right after getting introduced, like the second that like you meet Meaty, you're like, what the like?
Yeah.
How does this happen? Like, is this just the abyss? Whatever. Like, I'm sure like her backstory is gonna be like her and Ananche were somewhere, and then they came back and she had that.
That's what I thought it was gonna be. I was not expecting a whole experimentation thing.
Yeah. And Jesus Christ, I had no idea. We all had no idea what was coming.
Yeah.
We weren't ready.
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of not knowing what's coming next, Promised Neverland.
So it's funny you watched Promised Neverland too, because I found Made in Abyss because of Promised Neverland. So these two are just connected, anyways, for me.
Before we get into Promised Neverland, I want to say that this soundtrack for Made in Abyss was incredible.
Really good.
That is true.
That is one of my favorite OSTs.
The scenery was outstanding too.
Mm-hmm.
Just the whole world building of the Abyss.
Yeah, it's super cool. I would not mind like a spin-off series about like a White Whistle or something.
Yeah, that actually would be really cool to see.
Or like an OVA or something.
Yeah,
super cool. Because just the
world building. Totally watch that.
Because every layer of the Abyss, there's something new, and they don't cover a lot of it because they're just trying to get as far as possible.
And they have to keep, they keep finding like new things that are like, oh, well, we don't know what this is, and like there's like a realistic part of it too, of like a unknown object, and they're not just stupid kids being about it, like, oh, just go touch it, like, break it, like it's just they're actually smart about it.
Yeah,
which I like a lot. So
great soundtrack, great world building.
Oh yeah.
But so Promised Neverland. Also cruised through that pretty quick.
Yeah,
watched it one night. So
that anime would be amazing just to binge, because watching it weekly with you, Parker,
was so hard. It's
like you're counting down the days.
I've never been so tempted to read a manga while the show is still going on. Like, I get tempted, like with My Hero or something, like, oh, what's gonna happen the next season? It's supposed to be dark. And then, so like, I get tempted in like the break between seasons, but like during the season, I've never been this tempted to read.
Yeah, because like there were times when an episode would happen, and then we would be just talking, just like, oh, what if they did this? Like, oh yeah, I can't wait for, like, what if, oh, how are they gonna outsmart this? Like, they're just put up against the wall, and then just something completely unexpected, neither of us could think of, happens, and then you're just like, and it's 10 times worse.
Yeah.
I gotta say, just the way they chose to like express like their faces, especially whenever it was like whenever they were around their mom, or like when the other caretaker came, the black girl, and like they were just like there was like, oh, they're screwed.
Sister Crone.
Yeah, Sister Crone. It was just like,
she scared the crap out of me.
Every episode was like a cliffhanger. It sucked.
Yeah.
The season finale was a freaking cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the next season though.
Sin.
Little worried.
Yeah. So I looked up kind of like what the next season was kind of going to be about. There is going to be like a small time skip, like 3 months.
Okay.
So obviously in the next season, we'll probably be seeing them living outside and probably planning how to rescue everyone else from the.
Yeah. My thing is like, where's Norman?
Yeah, we don't think Norman's dead.
I don't think
None of us think Norman's dead.
No chance he's dead.
No chance.
Look, number one rule of anime: if a character does not die on screen, they're not dead. It's just fact.
Especially because like they brought the little girl out to the like dingy little tunnel and she died there. They brought him to like the room inside the tunnel.
Yeah.
Like why they wouldn't do that if.
And he was always like not like the teacher's pet, but just always where like the head mother was always like, oh, like she's always like made sure to like keep like a hand on Norman because of how smart he was and everything else.
He's gonna be in like they're gonna like brainwash him into the hierarchy or something.
I think that would be rough.
Would be rough.
Yeah, but even then again, the mother wasn't really brainwashed either. Because she was just like, it's either me or these kids.
Yeah.
And there's like, what was it? Was there... Because that was just one farm out of
a bunch.
Five or so.
Just in that area, though.
Just in that area.
Because they did specify that there are humans living outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just these certain farms that like raise these kids, and then... It's because these farms are pretty much self-sustaining. It's not like they're having to go out and abduct kids because every now and then they'll pull a kid out of there, train them, and then have them have a kid.
Yeah.
So
it's such a... After the first... Seeing the cover for this anime and then finishing the first episode, never have I been more led astray.
Yeah.
Because this is also a show where it's dark enough to show gruesome stuff like a kid with a cut across their neck and then just a lifeless corpse.
Been led astray, run
flat out deceived.
Yeah.
This show is insane.
It is, but next season, I don't know.
I'm excited for next season.
Are they gonna eat the monsters? I really hope they don't. That would be so bad.
Eat the monsters, gain superpowers.
I'm just worried because it's like the first season, it's like, okay, they have to escape, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they could easily make cliffhangers, and with the like cat and mouse game with the mom, it was really easy to make suspense, and then Sister Kong getting thrown into the mix, and then her finding out, like it was really easy to feel the tension and like not know where it's going. But now it's like, okay, they're out in the wilderness, they're just gonna get chased. How long can they go on with them just running away before it gets like boring?
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't feel like they're gonna capture the same suspense as they did the first season, and that makes me worried in a way. Like I'm sure it's still good, but how good can it be compared to the first season?
Do you think there might be a bit more world building than this one?
I hope
because we didn't get a whole lot of world building in the first season. It was just
hope
kind of
so.
More plot oriented.
Like if we got to see more of like what the monsters are and everything else, like okay, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm scared that it won't live up to the first season, regardless for the next however many seasons it goes.
I feel like it's because it, like you were saying, like it made it easy because it was just in the house, and they had to pretend like, oh, we have no idea what your plans are with us. Like, yeah,
even
they're gonna get adopted. The whole
time, pretty much.
Like, oh yeah, enjoy getting adopted, ha ha ha, and then, yikes. But this, now I'm starting to have some doubts, especially because let's say that they even like meet up with like a resistance group or something.
Right.
How are they going to be able to keep that entertaining that they're now turning this into like a war against the aliens?
Yeah,
Let's go save the kids.
That just doesn't capture the same essence the show had.
Especially now that they left that one super young kid to be like, hey, you're going to be our... Yeah, Phil.
Phil's the rat, bro. Phil's a rat. He's sketch.
You think so?
Phil was sketch. He just happened to always be there when they're talking about some risky stuff.
That is true.
Yeah.
Just so happens to always be there.
Like they always showed that kid.
That's true.
Always showed that kid.
That's true.
Phil's up to something.
Yeah.
So what, are they going to time skip when we see Phil? Because it's like, oh, we'll leave you.
Because it's only 3 months. It's not like a huge time skip.
Yeah, because like, oh, we'll leave you and we'll you let other kids escape or tell them about it. But it's like, are they really gonna let them escape now?
Because they said they have at least 2 years before anything happens to them. So.
And like, are they just gonna let Phil live?
But as they're gonna prolong how long he lives if he proves to be like either crazy smart or he's feeding information to the mom.
Yeah.
True, but then again, he kind of played dumb with the mom at the end too.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And I mean, Isabel was also kind of like.
Well, she's dead.
She didn't die on screen, so we don't know that.
Well, yeah, but she's gonna die for sure. They're
Probably.
not gonna be happy with her. But in the manga, it like she says that like I'll die if they escape, and they did. But they didn't really say. She didn't say that in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of implied almost.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Because especially for how much people are trying to gun for like the mother spot.
Oh yeah.
How do you think that we're gonna get much into like the process of getting to be like becoming a mother or like even like a sister?
Maybe through Norman's eyes.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah. Because
Sure,
even
I can
then,
see that.
we haven't seen any male roles.
Because if Norman is like being brainwashed and they're using him, I could totally see that for sure. But if it's not through Norman, I doubt we'd get any sort of, unless we get like a Isabel flashback or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because we kind of did get one almost, but it was really quick. It was like a minute.
Yeah. Because it was just Isabel as a kid discovering that there's no.
It's just kind of like her as a kid, and then her moving through the ranks and everything, meeting the granny of the whole operation, and then obviously, spoiler by the way for Promised Neverland, if you big one, how you find out that Ray is her kid. That to me was huge.
That was nuts.
That was crazy.
Because even before she said it, he starts humming that theme, and I'm like, oh no.
He's a rat! But, yeah. Now thinking back on how crazy and suspenseful this first season was, like you said, I don't know how they're going to be able to capture that same thing in this next season.
That's my worry.
Because they were confined to such a little space. And they had to be able to stay on top of it to not slip up on anything.
Yeah.
But now they're on the run. They have like so much of like a vast more world. Then again, you don't know how much control aliens have in all these other places where they're trying to run. I don't know. Just
gonna turn into Kirito Asuna in the woods. That's what this is
gonna. Because I think they're a little too young for a whole romance thing to go on. Because they're only 12.
Anime knows no bounds, Diego.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would.
I just don't want it to turn into some like fairy tale, like we can live happily together now. You know.
Mm-hmm. And I don't
think
like
they'll do that.
Emma is the type of character to be like, well, those kids are screwed. Let's stay here.
Well, she wants to rescue them. Like she said, like we're coming back here. Mm-hmm. So.
So I don't know. How did you feel about Emma as a character? Because when Parker and I were watching it weekly, we had our doubts. So before I say anything, I wanted to hear what you thought.
I feel like from what like I've heard, especially when we talked about like the Crunchyroll Awards and how she was up for like best like main character and all that, I felt a little bit disappointed. I guess is that just me?
Her as an MC?
Kind of, yeah. I felt like I don't know,
fair.
and it's I thought it was kind of unfortunate because she seems like a really cool and interesting character, and like I like her as a character, but I felt like Ray and Norman kind of stole the show more.
Oh, for sure.
Because they were so like big brain and stuff, and how Em was just more kind of like the athletic type.
For sure.
He was just like she was like the more like the moral.
Yeah, she was like the moral compass of the group, basically.
I feel like Norman would have been a really good main character, especially with him at the end getting like shipped off. That would have been crazy if he was the MC. Mm-hmm. Whereas Emma could have been literally the exact same stuff with Emma going on. She could still.
But that's also like the cool dynamic of the show is any of the three of them could be the main character.
That's true.
And I think I kind of want to see just a bit more focus on Emma because I feel like Norman and Ray got more screen time, at least when they were talking.
Yeah.
And Emma's just kind of like, okay, we'll do that, and then I'll handle this. But Emma did come in clutch, I will say, in the last episode or two when she's like faking like being super depressed and everything. That was clutch as hell.
That was sick.
That was really cool.
That was definitely a key moment.
Yeah, and why? I really want to know why Norman came back.
Wait,
well, because
they gave him the opportunity to escape. They gave him the taser to neutralize the tracker
right,
device, and he came back.
Because he basically
didn't want to compromise, but
he basically just gave up hope because of the huge gap between the wall and the thing.
That's true.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And he probably knew that Emma and Ray were gonna hopefully come up with something at least. He kind of had faith in them that they would come up with something else.
And Norman also was the guy that was like, no, we need to do this, right? Like, no matter what Emma wants, like, we have to do what she says because it's the right thing, no matter how inefficient it may be. Because Ray's like, Norman, she's tripping. Like, we can't save all of these kids. He's like, no, we can do it. It's like, what do you mean? Like, he's like, no.
Norman's like, all right, bet.
Yeah, like, we're going to do it. Yeah. But that's going to be a weird... How powerful do you think that meeting is going to be eventually when Emma sees Norman and Norman's just like cold, dead face, like...
Oh, if that happens, it's going to be bad.
It's going to be really bad.
It's going to be bad.
She's going to punch him though, definitely.
But then I hope it doesn't turn into like a Naruto Sasuke thing, you know?
I was thinking more Obito Kakashi.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I feel like it would be a more Naruto
Sasuke because it's gonna.
She's so driven.
Yeah,
so like
that's true.
I will save him. You know.
There's that's another concern.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for error, but they navigated through everything prior really good.
Yeah.
So
I think it'll be fine.
It should be in good hands, but we've seen shows we've loved go to shit.
I could see season 2 not being like as like
powerful
as like good as season 1 and like action packed and all that, but I could still see it being a good season, like a good follow up season.
I could see it definitely being a setup season.
Yeah. And if that's, I'm fine with the season 3 of Promised Neverland if it continues in this kind of direction and road that we're going on. So.
Oh no, I'm worried now. I kind of want to read just to make sure.
All right, guys, we're good. Don't worry.
No, we gotta wait it out. We're the anime Insomniacs, not the manga Insomniacs.
You're right.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Yeah, you can't forget what we are.
Get you reading. You're gonna get the fucking shtick.
But just gotta turn a little bit more.
Anyways, we gotta go, guys.
Boys, Teddy Roosevelt, come on, carry a big stick. Speak softly.
Oh, right. That was a reference.
Yeah,
that's right. We got you. We're on the same page now. But
so I'm freaking know history.
I know history, bro.
I'm worried. Now that we talked about that, I'm worried now again.
Just slightly.
Yeah.
But I bet it'll still be decent. Mm-hmm. If anything, just like world building setup. But even then, it can still be entertaining if they just don't do stupid shit.
Yeah. Because even then, now they're traveling with these really, really young kids.
Yeah.
Which actually could lead to something pretty crazy because they have to
basically
train them in.
Yeah.
The kids can slip up a lot easier than these big brains.
Right. And they almost did when they were escaping. Like the one girl who was scared and Ray's like, I got you.
Yeah.
So it's basically just gonna be Ray and like Emma just leading this whole group of kids along with the girl with the glasses and then the tall kid. I forgot their names.
Oh yeah, the taller
Dawn and Gilda, I think is their
Yeah. Gilda for sure. I don't remember the
Gilda is still sketch to me.
She's going through like we get like it's a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
But everyone's
finding out. Yeah.
She's still a little sketch to me though. And when Dawn and Gilda snuck into Isabel's room, I was like, what are you idiots doing?
I was so scared.
I was like, this is not going to end well. This is going to be so bad.
I was scared.
Yeah. That was bad. Especially when Ray, Norman, and Emma told them the secret.
Yeah.
I was like, they're going to slip up. Like, they're going to tell.
They're screwed.
Yeah. Because it's just... no other anime has made like skin crawl like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because oh my god,
and you're a horror guy too.
Yeah.
I
love horror.
Yeah.
Like, I love being on the edge of my seat, but probably before that, it was like practically the whole arc of the Chimera Ant arc. Once they invaded the compound.
Oh yeah.
Like that, I was on like, oh god.
Yeah, that was
like pretty much anything with the chameleon.
Yeah, dude.
Made me nervous as hell. The octopus guy, nervous as hell.
Bro, those guys are dope.
Yeah. Sorry to get a little off track, but yeah.
Kago is so dope, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like any other show has captured the essence of fear and like intensity like this show has, though.
Yeah.
Ever.
Same. I 100% agree with you.
Because it's like you said, I've never had my skin crawl, and like I've never been this like on edge before in terms of an anime.
I would say, honestly, and this is probably my hot take, I would kind of say Made in Abyss has that same aspect.
Oh, it does, especially the last half.
Yeah,
for sure. It's like the first half's, happy-go-lucky stuff, but once they like start going down, for sure.
It's cool to see, just like going back to Made in Abyss, it's just cool to see each level has its own thing going on, and how you have to be really careful about it.
Yeah, and especially with all the stuff with like when Reg passes out after using his ability, and then
there's the essence
has
of
to like
reality.
survive, and like it's not like Aspel material. Like both these animes have navigated that really well.
Like you can tell just how well thought out the story is in both these animes.
For sure.
So I'm really interested to see how both of these end.
I just want this movie, dude.
Yeah.
It's been a while now. We've been waiting for a while because I got you to watch Made in Abyss like a year ago.
Yeah.
Because I think this
it came out in 2017.
Yeah, it's been a while. Because I think I found it right when Promised Neverland came out. Or like right after. So whenever that was, like around October or something.
I think it was winter. So like
So like a year from this past October.
Yeah. So I think it was going into winter for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really interested to see how both these animes end, especially what they're gonna do to wrap up the Promised Neverland like trio.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know if Norman, Ray, and Emma are all gonna be able to get out of this alive.
No.
Because those aliens are kind of a little OP.
I could probably see Ray dying.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like he sacrifices himself or something.
Like I can feel it.
People sacrificing themselves.
Well, that just makes sense.
Yeah.
Ray's gonna sacrifice himself. Ray's gonna sacrifice himself.
Like, oh, save yourself. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Like I feel like it's gonna be a thing where it's like, damn it, Emma. Like,
or I mean, we
had to save these kids, so then like he.
I could totally see it being Emma's fault.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, or maybe just Norman just dies.
If Norman really died, I'm gonna be so upset.
I doubt he died. He's gonna die.
He's just such a good character to kill off in the first season.
Like I feel like
especially at like episode like 9 or 10 when they did it.
Yeah, they gotta keep him around.
Yeah.
So it's risky though.
Very risky.
It is risky.
All right.
We get into the weeklies?
Yeah.
Also,
I think so.
Please watch Made in Abyss and Promised Neverland if you have not. If you got through the spoilers and you heard the spoilers, it's still worth going back and watching, so please do yourself a favor and watch them.
They're only 13 episodes. They don't take long at all.
And they're both like wild rides. You'll probably age like 5 years from stress. But it's in a good way. So please do yourself a favor and watch those. But we can get in the weeklies now. If you haven't seen the weeklies, turn it off now. We're covering Dorohedoro, My Hero Academia, and Haikyuu. So if you have not seen those this week, make sure that you pause and come back so you don't hear spoilers.
And we usually talk about Darwin's Game, but there was no episode this week.
Darwin's Game hasn't come out for like a week and a half, so
right.
We're gonna start with Dorohedoro episode 4.
Initial thoughts for this episode. I was
kind of weirded out.
Yeah. Like more so like
with the turkey guy.
Yeah.
Not that. It just like they just like thrust you straight into the episode.
Oh yeah.
It, like as soon like.
But I kind of like it.
I know. I was weirded out, but I also liked I like the fast pace of the show. Like they just go straight into everything without having to explain it, and you're like, I'm okay with this. Like I don't know how they do it.
It's really nice.
And the weirdest part for me was when they were at that dinner, the corpse dinner, and the Ebisu, right? That's her name. She eats the black powder and completely annihilates that guy.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
dude, Ebisu's like my favorite character in the show.
It's funny stuff. And I love how what's his name? En? He just like puts up with it too.
Yeah. He's like, oh, Ebisu.
Yeah.
This is my favorite type of thing in anime with villains is how you can create villains who are likable, but they're not really villains either. They're just people following their own objective.
Yeah.
I like that in shows.
Yeah, because he doesn't feel like a villain, but then you watch him like just straight murk people.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, this dude is bad, but he's pretty sick when he's around.
I know, right? So
like he can be normal, but then like the second he goes into like fight mode, he's like bad shit.
Like, these are some of my favorite antagonists in anime so far. I think just because they're such a good group. They kind of remind me of like a more dysfunctional Astra group, basically. I don't know why.
I see that, yeah.
That's my hot take for it. It's just like they're way more dysfunctional and violent.
Yeah, like when they go to Turkey and he like recreates his assistant, or like his like sidekick, and she's like naked and she shows up.
Yeah,
and he's like trying to get the when she walks in.
Yeah,
it's just the show's funny, but it's like so brutal too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like when they're fighting that guy and he like melts the dude's arm, and then at the same time she recreates it. Dude, that
was sick.
Was amazing.
That was sick.
Really good. That was really good animation, but.
Like, my mouth was on the floor at that part.
True. So then, you saw that the guy that they recreated from the goo, that like who chops up food and like makes it into people.
Yeah, turkey dude.
Yeah, turkey dude.
Yeah.
So, and how when the double found the box or the safe that was his head, he immediately just like switched off. Was like trying to kill everyone that was holding it.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed that it was his head. I wish it was a bigger secret rather than, oh, it's just
his head again.
His head again.
It's just his human head this time.
Yeah, this time. Yeah. But I don't know. I want to start to get some sort of lead on the sorcerer who turned Kamen into
which we might be getting next episode with the doctor.
True.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
It'll be weird because now that they're able to travel to the sorcerer's world, it's not like they know what they're gonna do once they get there.
That's true.
Nikaido might.
That's a fair point.
Ooh, that is a good point.
I forgot about that.
Forgot to mention because she still hasn't mentioned to him that
every time she's about to,
he just cuts her off, and it's
something
like,
happens, right?
Man, you're just gonna make this reveal even worse for yourself.
Yeah,
just listen to her.
Especially with all the stuff he's saying, like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're my friend. Please be my friend all the time."
Mm-hmm.
And like when the dude told him she's a sorcerer, he's like, "Oh no, you're stupid." Like, it's just gonna be harder because he keeps like hyping it up, like, "Oh, you're my best friend. Oh, she's like always there for me." Like, it'll be bad.
That they've been like he's pretty much building like, "Oh yeah, we have this much level of trust."
Yeah,
we've been friends for such a long time. Yeah. It's like, oh, just kidding.
Or do you think he's gonna be able to just like look past it?
I feel like he's gonna be mad at first, and then he's gonna come around.
Probably.
I agree.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm glad there's been like some sort of fight every episode though.
True.
That's true.
Because it is cool.
We get like at least like some piece of cool animation every episode, which I really like. I don't know. I just really like the show. It's really like the animation's charming and the story's really cool and unique, and the characters are awesome. Really like everybody's likable. Like you're saying, the antagonists are great. But I do agree. I do want to see more progression towards what the main story is trying to achieve, for sure.
Yeah, which then again, we're only on episode 4.
Yeah.
So, and if we're already hooked on it by episode 4, so I'm more than happy to wait for.
Especially because I wish we were getting more progression, but like I was not disappointed this episode at all. Like I wasn't even really thinking about it until you brought it up, because I really enjoyed this episode still. Because it's funny to see them trying to figure it out, and then even kind of trying to figure it out. So it's cool to see both sides. Like it's not like My Hero where you see the villain once and you never see them again.
Yeah,
like, it's cool that we're getting like just as much of a perspective on what they're doing.
I feel like this episode we got more of their perspective than
for sure
Kamen and Nikaido.
For sure, and we got to see more of En because we haven't really seen really much of him.
And another thing that I wanted to add was last episode. It was they had Kaiman's head, and then that shadowy figure was haunting him. And like, do you think that when Kaiman gets to this sorcerer's world, because he's around so much of like that energy, do you think that whatever is haunting him is just going to multiply? I feel like.
I don't think so, because I think it's just one person doing it, not like unless they talk about like, oh, all the sorcerers in here are distorting the building. Like, what if there's just still like sorcerer residue on him, and that's why he's like tripping off.
Like,
because we know he's like immune to magic because he has the curse on him in the first place. So it could be that that figure is also part of the curse.
Ooh, that's a good point.
And maybe it's not even the guy. That's just part of. Yeah, that's true.
So maybe
I wonder.
Wait, so the guy they resurrected, was that the guy in his mouth?
No. That's a different person. The guy in his mouth is him.
Well, I know it's him, but because that's what they recreated with Turkey.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's supposed to be him.
I thought the guy in his mouth has red hair.
No, you don't really see the color of his hair. We just know that he has crosses on his eyes, and that's who the dude with the heart saw, and that's who he just tried to recreate from memory. So it could be a different guy entirely, though.
Okay. But then it just makes it even more confusing about how his own head is in the safe, right?
Well, no, because remember when Nikaido found him and he didn't have a head? In the alley?
Yeah.
We're raising a lot of questions right now, so now we're getting even more confused.
Yeah.
I see your point, though, and I see your point. We're just going to have to watch to find out, I think, because I don't know what the hell to speculate on
but
this
they're
right now.
opening up so many avenues.
Yeah.
Unless it's just like a copy of his head or something like that, like a really well-made copy.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is going to be really... I don't know how they're going to tie this all back together. Because you would think that with...
I mean, there's plenty of episodes to do it.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, for sure.
So
but
I'm not worried at all.
Yeah.
I'm not worried. It's just... I'm just intrigued as to, like, for a sorcerer to be... I guess that skilled.
Yeah.
With, like, to put that kind of thing on Kaiman.
And no one knows who he is.
And no one knows who he is. They've never seen, like, that type of magic before. It's just like, this guy can't just be some...
Yeah.
It's the
rookie.
Sorcerer Illuminati.
Yeah.
Impulse 1 loves the stream. Hey, Impulse, appreciate it, my guy.
Appreciate
Good to
it.
see you again.
But I don't know. Dorohedoro is in an interesting spot for me. Cause I'm the type of guy that wants the answers. Like when I'm asking like these type of questions,
Yeah.
like I want the answers like as soon as possible, and then just keep teasing it.
Yeah. See, that's the thing is I'm definitely like that too, as you guys have known, especially with
I think
things
all
like
of us
Fire
are.
Force and stuff. But like, I don't know. There's something about this show that's so entertaining at the same time where I'm like totally cool just laying back and just seeing what happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like the questions that we're raising, I think is a good thing though. Because then that's like a lot of stuff that they can tie the show. Like it doesn't show that the show's going towards nothing, right? Because they have all these things that they gotta establish and figure out. But it also raises concerns because like, are they going to wrap up these questions?
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right now the show is sitting at a very good spot for me, but I'm still worried.
Yeah,
because like I gotta know the answers.
I agree.
And like it's more points for the show for how interesting, like when you find out that there's sorcerers and stuff, he's like, oh great, magic again, typical stuff. They're gonna have some sort of Doctor Strange circle thing come up out from their hands like every other one. Oh, and then it's just completely different. So I trust the world building that we're in right now.
Me too. Super Circle says, what show is this? It's called Dorohedoro. I'll type it in chat for you.
Definitely check it out.
It's really
worth
good.
it.
I know
Animation will be weird at first, but you'll get past it. It ends up being really cool.
I know Super Soaker doesn't really watch anime, but this would be actually a fun one for you to watch for sure. I personally think it's not as serious. It'll be pretty short, and it's really violent, but it's really funny. I think, and it's not like fan servicey really. It's not like just super cool, like pretty. In a way, kind of a good intro anime.
Yeah.
So
but we
it's
just don't know what the ending's going to be,
people.
so...
Yeah, true. Which is always...
Yeah, like, I would not mind
That's
seeing more
always-
genre of this anime.
Yeah.
For sure. Do we read the book? We do not.
We do not, no.
I heard it's nuts, though.
Yeah, because it came out a while ago,
It came out in
right?
2000. Like, it started in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 20 years later, only just getting, like, we were one when this thing started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I've seen some of the panels that my brother was showing me, and they look sick, and it's obviously definitely violent. So I heard it's good, so I'm not too worried about where it's going. I'm sure it'll wrap up where it needs to wrap up in terms of the story. And it's just really entertaining right now. And things make sense, at least. Like, it thrusts you in the story.
Because they explain it well.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as a question pops up in my mind, they usually answer it, almost immediately.
Yeah, same. Even like last episode with like the dead day where they had to kill people, like you're like, what? This is so random, but then it like all is explained and everything comes to a point like halfway through the episode.
Yeah, and like you're worried, it's like, is this a filler episode already? But it's like, it's just they're tying in the story together, and you like it so much.
Because like the world doesn't stop. for like Cayman while he's like all this stuff's happening. Like he still is doing his everyday crap. He's going to work. He's going to talk to people for work. Like in this past episode, like where everything is still tying in. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Do we know how many episodes it's gonna be in this season?
11 or 12 or something
12.
like that.
Oh, okay.
I'll look it up though.
Yeah, because it kind of makes sense
12.
if it was shorter.
Plus 6 OVA. Interesting.
That is interesting. Maybe like a kind of backstory? Question mark.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
More backstory on the Sorcerers.
Yeah, so it's, this season for sure is 12.
Right.
Okay. That makes sense why we're getting into everything so fast.
And the Kaido backstory would be sick though, because they were talking about how she came to the hole when she was a kid. So why did she come to the hole? Why did she not use her magic and stuff like that? That'd be cool to see a backstory.
Right.
But the show is great.
Yes.
I love how funny it is. Ebisu is really funny.
Dude, that Day of the Dead episode, oh my god.
That was
driving me crazy.
Yeah. I like that. That was a really good episode for sure.
Yeah, just get eaten by a zombie and like, ah!
Yeah.
No, it's a great show. Also, would recommend watching it. Obviously, if it turns shit, don't get mad at us, because we don't know either. But right now, it's great, and you should watch it. But I don't know. So we moving on to My Hero.
Yeah.
So our weekly rant, I think.
Yeah. So weekly rant on My Hero Academia episode 79.
What is going on, guys?
What is this show? What is this show?
What is My Hero Academia?
I told you, bro. It's just a high school anime now. That's all it is.
Like, really? Like, I get it. Like, Bakugo, Todoroki need to be more sensitive. Like, they need to have more heart and they need to care more. Like, if anything, it's mostly Bakugo. Like, Todoroki, I feel like will be able to get there rather than Bakugo is like, I'm gonna fight these kids who are like 6 years old.
Well, it makes me mad too, because Gang Orca in the last episode at the end was like, oh, I'm gonna like make this so grueling, and it's like, it's kids, bro. Like, okay, yeah, maybe it's funny, but like,
it's kids with powers though.
This show is just has not had enough action and enough like cool stuff for them to just be like, oh, okay, we're gonna fill her with kids, them having to babysit.
I feel like if they didn't manga panel the whole freaking Lemillion fight, it would have been at least more acceptable for where it is now. Mm-hmm. But they didn't do that, so
like I thought they should have some crazy fight challenge or like something nutty, not just like babysit kids and then having like some character building moments where it's like, oh, I'm gonna be the hero that I wanted as a kid for these kids. It's like, like really? It's funny, but I don't know, bro.
Yeah, it's just kind of a high school comedy right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching it for now.
It's Psyche K right now. That's what it is.
Oh my god, but worse.
But worse. That show's funny.
Yeah, Psyche K is hilarious.
And that's the point of the show.
I haven't watched it. I've only seen a few clips, but a lot of the clips are like really funny.
It's a really funny show. Like, it's good just to like have one in the background.
My thing is, it kind of gets boring after like 5 episodes because it's the same thing. But anyways, this isn't a Psyche K.
Anyway,
sorry. But because that's the point of that show, though. Like, he's just a high school student with crazy powers, and everything is such a pain to him. But this show, it's like supposed to be a show about becoming heroes and like getting strong, and all these villains that are supposed to be doing stuff, and now it's just like high school anime babysit each other.
And the thing and
beat kids
that really doesn't help with this show is how the fan base would be like, I'm sick and tired. People always hate on Deku. Like, look at my man going off. Like, oh, so you're saying that hospital on his back has nothing to do with him be actually doing something this episode?
Yeah.
Because without her, he easily was going to lose that fight. Like, no chance. Like, nothing changed for really any of, like, the main crew.
Yeah.
Besides all of like the outside characters of Sun Eater, Lemillion, Uraraka, and then
not to mention, he would have lost.
She didn't change anything.
He would have lost that fight if Overhaul didn't say what her power was in the first place too.
That's a good point.
If he would have just kept his mouth shut and fought, Deku was dead ass gonna lose.
Yep.
both of them were probably going to die, and then he would just fix Harry and just move on with his day.
But
I don't know, man. The show's whack. It's not good no
this show is just getting...
It's just kind of mediocre now.
Like, it's entertaining, it's funny. Like, yeah, the episode was kind of funny, whatever, but, like, that's not what the show's supposed to be. That's why there's an issue.
No, it's supposed to be a shonen
that's why
following Deku's story.
That's why there's an issue here, is because that's not what this show is supposed to be, and that's what the show's turning into. When there's all these things established, all these things that could have been, and they just kind of continually throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
That's why there's an issue.
Because we brought it up in that YouTube clip that how much this season was supposed to solidify whether or not My Hero is on track to becoming a cult classic for this generation, or if it's just going to be another...
Or just further down the line of not being good.
Yeah. Of just, this was an anime that came out back in 2017?
15, 16?
2015, 16?
I was watching it in high school. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. But this show is really falling off for me. Like, there needs to be a time skip so that when they're adults, for at least to save the show for me to get on track to being like a classic, so that we can see real action.
I don't know if a time skip's the remedy though.
I don't think it is either, but it's just the best course of action.
Deku development.
Yeah.
And I feel like time skipping to where Deku's like All Might, that would be. I feel like that would almost.
You could do like the third year at UA or something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do like all the way to the point where he's like
because a lot has already happened in their first year at UA, and they're like only in the
year.
middle of the freaking semester.
So they could even skip just a year ahead.
Yeah.
Second year, halfway through.
Have them age a little bit. Have them, have their powers better. Deku is probably like, I don't know, 30 or 20%, whatever.
But I feel like a time skip would even make it worse, because then it just all like it solidifies the League of Villains being worthless even more if they can go a year without anything happening.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, actually,
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
like, what are the villains?
Time skip. Have them kill Aizawa.
No, we can't. All Might. They just need to kill All Might.
All Might.
He's already worthless.
He can't do anything.
Like, sorry if people like All Might, but he's already worthless.
He can't do much.
That would be the best development for Deku. Is All Might dying?
Like, he can't rely on All Might anymore.
Like, deadass, All Might dying is best thing that they could do for Deku's development right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it would be like a Canute kind of thing.
Yeah, where like the helicopter parent isn't there to keep babysitting him. Ragnar isn't there to keep like, Canute, like you don't have to if you're not comfortable with it. Like,
it could totally propel a character development for Deku that's just way better.
Mm-hmm.
But I already think it's kind of too late.
But then with this development, you want development with Quark and him as a character.
Mostly him as a character.
Mm.
Like he could use full cowling, or not even full cowling, like 10% of his power, or 20% or whatever he was using the last time. Like he could just be using that with a time skip. But as long as his character development is better, where he's just not feeling sorry for himself and crying all the time and offering to give up his power to Mirio because he's too weak and like all this stuff, like he just needs to stop doing that and just be more like
All Might,
yeah. Which is the whole point. That's his whole... On our YouTube channel, where the person commented and they're like, yeah, his motivation is to be like All Might. Okay, make him like All Might. Have character development to be like All Might then. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we have to keep saying it before... like, not even just us, everyone. Before, like, people start to realize, like, oh yeah, this is dog shit.
Like, My Hero's not what it was before, like it used to be.
No, it's not even close.
All aboard the Demon Slayer hype train.
Honestly.
For shonen? Hell yeah.
Like, My Hero Academia.
Literally.
Literally, though.
Like, honestly, like, I've talked about it on the podcast a lot, how much I really didn't like Black Clover. But at this point, Black Clover is
better than My Hero at this point. And they just wrapped up the arc that they're on, or they're pretty much at the end of it. It's better than My Hero right now, I think.
Really?
Because there's actual progression with Asta, rather than...
And the side characters also.
Yeah. Which was... I was more so a fan of the side characters rather than Asta. But even then, there was still development for Asta while I was still, like, intrigued about the side characters.
He's a really, like, likable character now.
Really?
Yeah, like I used to hate him in like the first 15 episodes, but like once he like gets his goals in mind, like meets new people, like learns new things, it's like, okay, he's actually becoming a smart character now.
Yeah.
So
I will say this is definitely a really good normie show.
Yeah.
Like normie.
Like if you're not really, really into anime,
go watch My Hero.
Yeah, go watch My Hero. Like enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah.
But if you're a connoisseur like us,
if you're a man of class,
if
you're a person of culture,
you want to have a good taste in anime,
then
this ain't it. This ain't it.
Like maybe a good intro anime, maybe just to give someone the taste, but like this is not an anime I would consider a classic though.
No chance.
I feel like the season kind of
It's not on track to be a classic.
Yeah, because like we said, like this was the make it or break it, and they broke it. 78 episodes in, or 79 episodes in. That's too many.
Yeah.
But then again, I heard Black Clover didn't take. It took like 80 some episodes, right?
Well, that was for
Or
me.
90.
That was for you.
That was for me to really like Asta.
I was enjoying the show from like episode 10 and on, just because I like seeing the kind of different magics and stuff like that and the different world building. And then kind of like around episode 30 or so, when they're in the underwater area, that's when I really started to like the show.
Oh, okay.
Because there were some good fights in that arc, and there were like cool characters and like cool things that you could just see.
So maybe for most people, it does to establish good stuff before.
Because people were liking Asta, like Diego was saying, like around I would say the general consensus, like the community was really liking Asta. I would say from episode 30 and on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So My Hero's already too far gone.
But for me, it was at the point when he was training with the Lemillion.
Oh, I know.
The
what's
fire.
Her name? What's her name?
Yeah, he was training with her. Lady
something Vermilion.
Vermilion, yeah. So if you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about, where he finally gets like the Black Wing, and I'm like, okay, Asta's sick.
The Black Wing was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was just strictly for me.
Yeah, so that's just a you case.
That's just a me thing.
Okay. So
not like a community
which
thing.
my case is gone then, because I was saying like, oh, if it took Black Clover this long, then My Hero maybe will take no. If it's only like a you case and like you and probably Mob and other people felt differently, especially I feel like the masses, then My Hero is just too gone.
Because what made Black Clover so good is that you were still invested into a lot of the other side characters.
Yeah, and they kind of took all the side characters out.
I don't know how to say that.
Did someone say
Mario Leona?
Mary Leona or something like that?
Yeah, Mary Leona Vermilion.
But she's a beast.
Yeah, she's OP as fuck. Yeah. But yeah, so that was the only comparison, was like Black Clover, and had a lot of episodes come out. My Hero, it kind of was there was spacing between a lot of the seasons rather than Black Clover didn't, and Black Clover is better than My Hero.
Yeah, by the way, on episode 120 of Black Clover, you have to watch through the credits.
Okay.
Because there is a big reveal that I already had. I had a friend, Mob. I really wanted to know what it was, so he told me. So I was kind of expecting it, but I was still kind of hyped afterwards. It happened. So
I'm gonna catch up on that soon.
Because you only have like 16, 17 episodes to watch, which is not a lot at all.
No.
So is My Hero the next Boruto?
Well, I actually think when you say that, it's not really fair, because Naruto was at a high point, and then there was a lot of hype, like, oh, Naruto's kid's gonna be insane, like, and then especially after the first episode of Boruto, like, oh, all this hype,
everyone was like,
yeah, and then it's just like, let's give him filler. So,
but even the Momoshiki fight, you're like that whole
that was a hype arc.
You're like, ooh, this is sick, and then
that arc is better than season 4 of My Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because it's like pretty much Sasuke the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, the fight was really good in that one.
The fight's amazing.
Yeah, that's a top 10 fight.
Hands down, one of the better Naruto fights just in general, including all Naruto shows.
And like maybe like some people would be like, oh, it's not really fair because you have all this other built up things from Naruto that are able to, like, oh, you have all the connections with Sasuke, you have all the connections with Naruto, and that is what carries it more. Like, no.
Yeah.
My Hero had 4 seasons, a lot of time to hype up the League of Villains.
A movie, also.
Even, 2 movies.
2 movies.
Maybe 3, I thought. Because isn't there there's like a 3rd movie coming out, but isn't there already 2 movies out?
Hold on.
I could have sworn there's 2 movies out.
I think this next upcoming one is the second one, because I think One Justice was the first, right?
So 2 Heroes was the one that came out in 2018. That's the one that I've seen, and there's Heroes Rising, which came out last year.
So there's gonna be 3.
Maybe I don't see anything about a 3rd movie.
There's a 3rd
that's
movie
why
coming out.
that's why they're saying they did like the Mirio overhaul fight in like manga panels, because apparently they're focusing on a new movie.
Yeah, which is supposed to be like a huge Deku like Bakugo like team up moment.
Oh my gosh!
So that's the cover of like them both like doing an attack on whoever is the villain. But like I was saying, it's just My Hero had a lot of time, a lot of hype, especially around Overhaul.
Oh, for sure around Overhaul.
Like and even then, just when they introduced All for One, he was built up to be such a BA villain, and then he got hoed.
So hoed. Even like up until like the Deku fight, he was like, you're like, oh, he's gonna get away again. This dude's nuts. Like it's over.
Mm-hmm. And
because like they could have done it the same, but just let Eri get away, and then he just like goes back to
because My Hero is just falling extremely short at all of these defining moments.
Yeah.
But the only time I think they actually hit the mark was with Stain.
But even Stain was just so like we barely got any is the issue. That's why like Stain still fell because like we still didn't get any.
Yeah.
Stain.
But like that was the only time where it felt like the realist.
Yeah.
Like they landed it with Stain. They fell short with All for One, and then they fell short with Overhaul and with Shigaraki. Yeah. So it's just like,
and there's the argument like, oh, All for One is still planning, like he's locked up, but he's scheming.
Okay, well, show us something then about
show
it.
Show us, dude.
Because we haven't seen him since season 3, so.
No, so.
Like, sure, they hinted at it a little bit when they were like, oh, one of One for All's other, like trainees, I don't know what to call them. Like
disciple or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Like the huge dude that was about to fight
Gran Torino.
Like, oh, he might have more people like that. I'm like, okay.
Cool.
And what? We saw that one dude for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And right now we're gonna see these kindergartners go up against Bakugo, Todoroki, and the wind guy. And the
other chick.
Oh yeah. Kami? Yeah, Kami, that was her name.
Because that's actually her now, not Toga.
Yeah. So it's just falling short every single time.
And at least DJ has a good point. At least My Hero doesn't have filler, or doesn't have a lot of filler.
It's like
but
1 or 2 episodes of filler.
Almost like to the point where every episode just feels like filler, regardless of being filler or not.
Like I don't look forward to My Hero.
Yeah, whenever I'm like it's Saturday, I'm just like, oh cool.
Yeah, like I'll look through the list I have to watch, and I'm like, oh, My Hero updated, or let me just start a new show. And I just start a new show.
Yeah,
so I still care.
Yeah, I'm extremely disappointed with this season. If you guys aren't, reach out to us. Let us know what you think. Yeah. I think we especially have hot takes on this
for sure. And
I got a hot take for you.
Ooh, let's hear it.
I'm gonna catch heat for both of you for this. Ruby is better than My Hero right now.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's my hot take.
That's the thing. I haven't seen enough of Ruby to be like.
I saw a couple seasons.
You saw the first 3,
which
is when the animation was,
Yeah. So I gave it a chance.
Yeah.
It was interesting, but it didn't seal the deal.
That's fine. I mean, that's fine. I'm not gonna force you to watch it. So.
But
But based off where the state My Hero is, I wouldn't actually be. I'm not too upset with that statement because probably is true.
Yeah. And like, even though like Ruby is like a really good, like you really like the show.
It's it's a good. It's also honestly, it's also a good normie show. I would say, just because it's not hugely inspired in the anime elements. I guess I'd say, just because it has cool world building. Again, I like the characters. So
Yeah.
So, My Hero Academia Season 4 has an 8.32.
Get that shit out of here.
Out of 10. What do you guys think of that?
Wait, how many people reviewed it?
86,864.
86,364 people are on crack.
Okay, so then what would you guys rate this season? As of right now.
7.
6.5, 7 out of 10.
I was about to say 7. Like the max.
Max
That's
is
the
7.
max.
Max is 7.
Lowest, 4.
Oh man.
And it gets that 4 strictly because of animation.
I'm sad too because I was like, okay, I knew this episode was going to be some kind of filler type of stuff. So I was really excited to see Bakugo and Todoroki, and they still just like fudged it.
Yeah.
So hard.
Because like there was like I guess it's not like we said earlier in the beginning of this argument that like I get it, they need to like be more caring and actually like sympathetic like other heroes are, but that's really just Bakugo that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. We didn't really touch on this yet. It was kind of interesting to see Endeavor have a conversation with All Might for once instead of just kind of shooting him a glare and like, ugh.
And being mean.
Yeah.
And even then, like it felt like more hype they're trying to build up for the next season, like they did at the end of season 3, where it's like, oh, the pillar is like the symbol of peace has fallen. We can't wait. Like you guys aren't ready for what's going to happen next season because all these people are going to come up and try to take One for All spot. Or, I mean, All for One spot.
One for All.
Or One for... God, I always get it mixed up. But you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
And then at the end of this season where he's like, oh, you need to... Like, he can feel something coming that's going to make it crumple. I'm like, oh, great.
I'm honestly, at this point, I would not be mad if all that anarchy just kind of happened in the city.
I wouldn't be bad either. That would make it really interesting.
Just like stain followers and stuff.
Yeah, like just stain followers. Like the police can't do it. Like heroes are getting like killed left and right, and just like they have to bring the kids out because they're like running low on heroes and stuff.
Yeah,
that would be a cool thing to see.
That's what they should have done with the Overhaul Invade.
I don't know. This
like
show...
something similar, and you might hate me for this. Something similar to what they did in Fire Force when they were in that one city with
the first district.
No, the district with Benimaru.
Right?
Yeah, the 7th.
Oh no, he wasn't one. The guy with the eye patch was one.
Yeah, the district of Benimaru where they had that scene where there was mass confusion and like people were just turning to infernals everywhere. Like that was a cool scene because you're like, okay, shit, we're getting somewhere now.
Who's gonna do like how are they gonna go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to place like Deku and all them in situations similar to like the Saint situation, but amplify it by about 10.
I agree.
But the villains need to do something.
Yeah.
So, okay, maybe My Hero isn't the new Boruto, but is it the new Fairy Tail?
Fairy Tail's a different beast because of just how BS they would win fights.
Yeah, because Fairy Tail, I mean...
But isn't it kind of the same thing without Deku wins fights, though?
That is a fair point.
That's why I think a Fairy Tail. It's like the muscular fight.
Yeah.
He broke his arm like 3 times in a row and then somehow lops the strongest punch possible.
Because a lot of people are more watching Fairy Tail just to kind of casually watch something and like see some cool fights and all that, and like the powers and everything, which is fine. Yeah, I know that's the direction My Hero is starting to take, so I could see the comparison, but I just feel like My Hero's kind of going below that even.
Below? Ooh.
Because it's just kind of filler now, and at least Fairy Tail is like focusing more on story.
And even then, Natsu had character development.
Natsu had really good character development.
That wasn't happening. Like I don't like okay, so this is getting off topic, but Shonen Jump hated Bleach. And when they got the premise, they're like, no, you need to change this, this, and this, and this, or else we're gonna be absolute like shitbags to you about trying to get this manga out. And hearing that, like all like the drama behind the scenes for just trying to get the manga out in Bleach, and then just seeing what's coming out for My Hero, I'm just like, how? Like how are editors like, oh no, you keep doing what you're doing, dude. Yeah. We don't need any development.
They're probably just dick riding on what makes the most money.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. Because
Bleach peaked in like 2008 probably. Like that's when everyone was like watching Bleach because that was the big 3 era.
And that's the thing is everyone knows about Bleach.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whether they love it or they hate it, they know about Bleach.
100%.
Whether you love it or hate it, you know about One Piece. Whether you love it or hate it, you know about Naruto. Everyone knows about My Hero.
This is a sad reality that we live in, boys.
Yeah.
Well, I guess let's move on.
All right, last one. Haikyuu episode 4.
So, this was
a better episode.
This was a better episode.
If you watched last week's episode, we talked about how we're kind of disappointed of where it's going right now, and I'd say for me personally, I'm more okay with this arc now.
Yeah.
Because we talked about it last week, and I remember one of us said it where it would be nice to have them focus on Kageyama a little bit more, which is what they did this episode, which I was happy to see. They got to see the introduction of some of the other side characters on the All Japan team and all that stuff, and that was interesting. Especially that white-haired dude who I was expecting to be some quiet dude who's not a quiet dude at all.
Yeah. We got a lot of good development this last episode. Really good, really entertaining, because we actually got to see more than just Hinata
catching balls.
Mm-hmm. And even when at that training camp, we still got to see like more gameplay kind of stuff than just him watching from afar.
Mm-hmm.
So good episode. Like I said, I'm still not worried about where it's going because I know it'll be good. But they made it more entertaining. This last episode, they made this arc more entertaining.
Like once we get to the actual tournament, I'm sure we're gonna have absolutely no.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be.
Because I mean, there's only some level of action we can expect in like a training camp arc anyways. Like this is what it's gonna be regardless. It's just they definitely could make it more entertaining, and I think they have at least this past episode. We'll have to see next episode. Might just be the same thing it's been, but I don't think it's bad now.
Because our biggest thing was like it doesn't make sense that like as a player you wouldn't want to be the ball boy, especially when you're going into one of the biggest tournaments you're ever going to play in your life. You're not practicing,
and you're trying to surpass your like biggest rival on your team.
And you know that he's training with some of the best in Japan while you're being the ball boy.
Yeah.
And all you're picking up is how to receive, how to be more prepared when a ball comes.
Yeah.
Because of a hop step.
Whereas Kageyama is learning more how to set for other people than just Hinata
and to see the competition, which is a huge advantage.
Yeah. Because they're gonna see them.
Yeah.
He's gonna see them all. Not to mention they're all first years. Except for the one guy with the mask who's
who's the second year,
That's a big deal.
Yeah. So
because they're probably going to play all those people. And if they're first years, what are the other people on the team like?
That's, good point. Who is setting for that kid that can jump crazy high? That's what, but obviously we're going to get these answers soon, but like that's my only real complaint is like what I was mentioning earlier, like biggest game of your life and you're being the ball boy.
Yeah,
doesn't seem very realistic to me.
I agree.
That's really it.
Yeah.
So with the whole thing around Tsukishima, like, actually no. Before we get to that, you remember how the assistant coach was talking to one of his old teammates about the head coach of Shiratorizawa when Hinata landed the last spike that won them the match?
Yeah.
Do you think that they're starting to ease into like the coach letting Hinata play
possibly
for the camp?
I don't think he'll ever play because the old guy's stingy, but I can see maybe the coach like trying to set him aside so he can like help him out a little bit, like after hours, pretty much.
Because it seems like after every episode, it seems like they keep hinting like, the coach is kind of like Hinata, like he sees himself in Hinata, all this other stuff, and it's like, are they gonna let him play? Like, can we? Like I mentioned earlier, I want answers. So they keep teasing, and I'm just like, just tell me what they just give it to me straight.
Yeah.
So that's really it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think the coaches are like understand Hinata and his potential, and they'll probably start to do something to help him. But I know that he won't probably ever play in the camp this season, at least.
Yeah.
But I'm interested because they keep talking about him. He keeps like having flashbacks about Hinata and recognizing his potential, and like he'll like see Hinata do something, and like you can tell it catches his eye. So like hopefully they develop something between, like a relationship between him and that coach.
That would be cool to see.
Yeah, so he gets like some sort of practice in this arc. That's not just chasing balls. Or maybe the camp's over and then he's like, oh, hey, let me like train you or something. You know, something like that.
Yeah, I don't see him practicing with a lot of people at the camp.
No chance. There's no way.
If it does happen, I'm not gonna be mad.
Yeah, but I don't feel like there's any way that coach will let that little guy.
Yeah,
because Hinata himself is already kind of coaching other people in that camp also with that. That's
but the really tall dude.
Yeah,
he's like 2 meters tall.
Yeah.
He was already kind of coaching him.
Yeah,
which that was actually kind of cool to see.
Yeah,
that was cool to see. But I wasn't like,
because like, oh, he's actually gaining knowledge. Like he's understanding things. He's watching people and like seeing what they're doing.
Yeah,
which I guess does make it better.
Does help, yeah.
And like his actual like gameplay, because like how he was able to notice like, oh, he sets the ball really high up for the very, very first set. Like when the ball comes over, he gives his team time to settle. Like, oh, that's actually valuable information to know. But then again, it's just like, so there's these two small things of like the bunny hop and then the really high arcing set
or pass even.
Or pass. Yeah, pass.
I agree.
But I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to be able to pass off that this is enough to be like, okay, I'm ready for the tournament.
Right. I agree.
Because even Hinata mentioned that, yeah, I agree. Like, I can see how Kageyama makes me really good, but then again, without him, I'm just an average spiker.
What if during the tournament Hinata just doesn't really play that much?
I'll be disappointed.
You think so?
That'd be kind of disappointing, yeah.
I'll be disappointed. Because...
who's going to replace him?
Well, because they kind of took him out near the end of the Shiratorizawa match. Remember?
But they brought him back in also.
Well, they brought him back in, and like, yeah, he won the last. But
because
that was getting shut down a bunch. So
right. So they, so they took him out because obviously they need to focus a bit more.
Yeah.
And, but that was also a 5-set match, not a 3-set match.
But then again, because like everybody else is like learning and practicing, so what if it's like, what if they use that for character development? It's like, yeah, you guys sit out. You're not good enough.
I don't know. That would be interesting.
See it happening. It'd be interesting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it will, or like that I want it. Just a what if, I guess.
Yeah, just something nice to think about.
Yeah, something like,
could do.
oh yeah, okay,
food for thought.
He's not getting development now. Maybe they'll just make him sit out and then make him like practice more.
Okay,
that's a good point. I don't know. I would be interested to see how that would turn out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree.
Because.
I don't know.
Because of the caliber of teams that they're going to be going up against, I don't know. Because I don't think it's going to be... You guys think they're going to make it to the championship in this tournament?
I don't know.
I feel like they won't. I feel like it's too easy for them to just so happen to make it all the way.
Because I could see them doing it because it's like, oh, it's the third year's last chance to, do this and that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it would make for a much better build up to it, like another season or so.
I agree.
Because then it would be their second years, Nishinoya, and some of the other guys are third years then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Because it'd be sad for the third years because I really like them. Now, obviously, I want them to stick around, but then it could just be more development for the show and the characters, and then we get new characters as well. So.
Like, if they're really going for like the show in the long run, then yeah, I could see it. But if they're trying to just end it on them getting a championship, like with Kuroko's basketball, then I could see them doing that also.
Yeah, but don't you think like that just might be like too predictable though?
I feel like it would. Like it'd be like I could see them maybe making the semifinals and then maybe losing.
I wouldn't say it would be predictable if there was like serious training going on for Hinata.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how this rest of the season plays out. I guess.
Yeah.
So if we see some like serious skills like getting developed for a lot of the players, and like you see like, oh, this guy got crazy good at his serves, or I don't know, Hinata is able to change up mid spike where he wants to go. Like, oh, that's so advantageous. Like he's already that much better of a spiker. Kageyama is able to do a lot more than just set. Like if he became a good spiker, or like even just an average spiker.
Yeah.
Just if they got more weapons, then I would.
Because that was the big reason why they beat Shiro Torizawa, is because they incorporated all these new things, like the synchronization attack, the back spike, all that stuff. So
yeah, and even like the tempo stuff that you know to learn.
Yeah.
Like,
so like if there was some serious skills gained and some of the training in between, like leading up to the championship game, then I wouldn't be like, oh, that's BS.
Yeah, for sure.
But if they actually, like I've been saying, get some training, gain some new skills, then it would be able to be like, okay, they earned it.
I agree.
But I don't know. At this point, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. So
we'll just have to see.
Later, we just have to wait and see.
Yeah. I doubt they'll win though.
I don't know if they will either. Because I really like Daichi.
They struggled really hard with Shiro Torizawa. Yeah. And Shiro Torizawa, he was, like on the national team. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, Kageyama's on the training camp, but that dude's on the team. He's in Ushiwaka. Magazines. He's like, and they really struggle with that. Like, what are they going to do? What are they going to have to deal with the rest of the whole country?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be too much. Like, too much of a coincidence if they won. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited to see what happens.
Yes, I am.
Same. I'm interested. I feel like it's gonna go a good route. Yeah. But
you know what would be cool?
I don't know if they're gonna win.
If they brought in the little giant to like train Hinata.
Yeah,
that would be really cool to see.
That actually, I would have enjoyed it a lot if they beat Shiro Torizawa. Because it was broadcasted game, they beat Shiro Torizawa. Hinata got the last spike to win the game. And then this arc was like the little giant coming to me and be like, hey, I saw what you did. I think you should work. We should do this, and to make you better.
Yeah.
Like that would have been like such
because
like
I think
badass.
Now would be like a cool time for him to come in, and like it would make sense for him to come in because that game, like you said, was televised. So
and even the coach could have like talked to him about Hinata or something.
Because unfortunately he's in the hospital in the show. So
yeah.
But I mean, maybe when he gets out, maybe he'll, I don't know, make a call or something like that. Or maybe he'll go of his own accord. So
yeah, I don't know.
And that'd be cool to see.
Yeah, it would be. I don't know. I mean, I think it's easy enough to put up with right now. It's not like I said, this is what to expect from a training arc. So I'm not like, I don't know, I'm not too nervous still. So, but it's still a good episode. I think there's
still got a high ceiling. I think
a lot of potential they can reach and do with like things like with the little giant and stuff. So I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. I like the way this is going.
Yeah.
I just have one complaint. That's it. So
there we go.
That's
I agree.
it.
But yeah, I think that's all for today, huh, boys?
Yeah.
Any new shows you guys are watching?
Yeah. I started your show.
Oh yeah, I hate being your pain, so I made a full defense build.
Yeah.
Isn't that game so broken?
Yeah, it's broken as hell. Like,
wait, so going to the
okay.
So it's called I Hate Being in Pain, so I think I'll make a full defense build.
Okay.
So this new game comes out. It's VR MMO RPG. Like it's
like
Sword Art Online, except they're not stuck in the game.
Yeah.
So this girl has a friend who plays like a lot of video games, so she talks her into getting this new game. So, but her friend's grounded because she has to like study for these exams. So the main character's like, oh, I'll just play by myself while I wait for her and like figure the game out. So basically, she goes into the game and you can choose what kind of character you are. So she does like a shield maiden or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Or shield paladin.
She's basically like the shield hero, but
yeah. So basically, so she goes into the game and she's like, oh, like I have 100 points I can put into my attributes, but I don't want to be in pain. So she puts all of her points into defense.
Okay.
Every time she levels up, she only gets defense. So she's really slow because she has no agility. She has no attacking power. And so basically, like, it's about her, like, the first couple episodes is like her going in through the game by herself and like leveling up. And the game's broken as hell.
It's so broken.
I don't really want to spoil it, but like the stuff she does is like, it's so stupid and it just works. And then she's like, just so OP, but
like
she
literally
has no idea what she's doing.
Literally, the reason why I'm watching this show is I just want to see how broken this game gets.
But I like it because it's like oh, it's a new game. She did this, so they patch it. So like it's not like the game is broken like that. Like you can tell like they're putting an effort to show that like, oh, the devs are like finding the stuff out that she's doing, and they're like, it's just, she's so oblivious and stupid. She finds out ways to break the game, and then they fix it, but she still has reaped the benefits of that. Like the
of that, yeah.
It's so funny.
It's so broken. It's a really funny show. It's like, I don't know. I guess it's like SAO if Kirito was a girl and
oblivious
and really stupid and oblivious.
Yeah. That's interesting. You just gotta turn your brain off.
Pretty much. That's the kind of show it is. It's like a comedy, fantasy, sci-fi.
Yeah.
Really funny. It's not like they don't get sucked into the game, so it's not an isekai. Like they talk outside of the game and stuff. Her and her friends. So like, it's not like some like isekai VR MMO RPG copy. Because it's like just different aspects to it. It's really good, really funny. It's definitely a show to just kind of watch and turn your brain off. But it's pretty funny. I enjoy it right now.
There we go.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only one I'm watching. I was gonna watch. Yeah, I was gonna watch this one. Keep Your Hands Off. It's like, Hands Off of the Motion Picture Club.
Oh, Aizoken, yeah.
I was gonna watch that just to see. My buddy was watching it and told me it's pretty good, so I was gonna watch that too. But I haven't started it. Really, the only new one is the Full Defense Build show.
Yeah. And then I had watched Made in Abyss, Promised Neverland. So I haven't watched anything new.
You've been grinding though.
Yeah,
I grinded. Yeah, those literally just took 2 days.
Yeah.
So I watched Promised Neverland, and the next night I watched Made in Abyss, and I was up till like 7 a.m. both nights.
Yeah, so. I haven't watched anything new recently. But I mean, I need to keep watching Food Wars.
Ooh, yes you do.
Yeah, he's on like episode 9 or 10 or something like that.
I need to keep watching Food Wars.
So
because I've been grinding out One Piece and it's kind of slowing down for me, but that's about it. So yeah, I'm gonna get started on Food Wars. Yeah, and then I need to get back onto Black Clover also. So
yeah, I think you would enjoy Black Clover right now.
Okay.
I think get on Bleach because this season's a little more easygoing in terms of what we're watching right now. So, but that's the plan, is just Bleach and then some other things I just need to finish.
Bet.
But yeah, I think that's all for the day, boys.
Sweet.
Yeah, sign us off.
Yeah, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Impulse, good to see you. Super Soaker, Renting Piff, Jacob, Casadice, everybody, appreciate you guys coming through. Obviously, make sure that you check out our YouTube. We have been posting videos weekly, so make sure you go check those out. We're also posting on Instagram almost every day, so make sure you give us a follow on there. On all the other platforms down in the links below, you can go check us out on all streaming platforms if you want to listen to the podcast. But anyways, make sure you catch up on anime, not sleep.
We out.
We out.